Hey everyone, welcome to Three Crosses Farrier channel. Today we're pulling and resetting shoes on a horse called Fudge. He's one of my favorite horses on my list, and he suffers from acute laminitis. Laminitis is basically diabetes in horses. They are unable to process sugars. It usually comes with obesity. Same symptoms as basically diabetes. The only difference is the place that we see it show up and cause pain the most is in the hoof. The coffin bone, that's P3, in the hoof capsule begins to rotate downward towards the sole of the foot. So then the sole of the foot's thin. In extreme cases, it'll actually come through the bottom of the foot. So with Fudge, he almost had this happen about a year ago. The bone was a 1/16 of an inch, maybe less, from coming through the bottom of his foot. And we weren't actually sure that we could save him. I asked the owner to give me 6 weeks and see if we could make him feel better. We put a glue shoe on him because you couldn't actually pound. He was in enough pain. Hitting his foot with a hammer would have been just cruel. So we glued a shoe on. We're about a year down the road in the process. Now he's in a regular steel shoe with a 3D impression pad, and he's sound. He's doing great. The kids are back to riding him. He's happy as can be, other than he's on a diet. He's really not excited about the whole diet thing. Most of us aren't. The thing you'll notice here is that I do not trim. I don't trim a bunch of sole out on him. And the reason for that is he doesn't have a lot of sole. Because of that coffin bone, because it was so thin before, we hardly ever touch the toe on him. We always take heel, we bring him back. Foundered horses I have found grow more heel than they do toe, and the toe just splays out. You'll see here, I kind of open that up just a little bit. Just take some of the dead off, and then I'm going to run my rasp on it. The crazy thing about this horse is that none of us were really sure that he was going to make it, and it's really exciting for me to see him a year later living his best life and happy, which is amazing. So here, this is the dental impression material that I'm using. It's a Glue U product, Glue U adhesive product. I'm putting copper sulfate granulars into it, and I mix it in with the impression material. And the reason I do this is it helps with thrush. It's probably the best way I've found to control thrush when I have a pad on a horse's foot. And this was a trick I learned recently. One of my friends showed it to me. I put the DIM material on the shoe first. Rather than trying to put it in the hoof and then put the shoe on, I put it on the shoe and then I just push it down, and it fills every little nook and cranny beautifully. Again, I'm putting more copper sulfate in here. I feel like you can't overuse this stuff. I put it in the lamini wall there, in the nooks and crannies. He's been in pads for over a year now, and we have very little thrush. So again, you'll see, look at that, just pushes right down in there. Gonna nail. You'll see the toes overhanging a little bit. That's okay. We're going to take that off with the rasp in a little bit. I should pull up old videos of this horse and put a montage together. What he looked like before and what he looks like now. It's not even comparable. You'll also notice there's a little rubber around the edge of the shoe. That's actually a snow popper pad. Fudge lives in snow country, and just the regular pad wasn't keeping him from balling up. So we put another pad on there that's basically a stinger pad or a shoe pad or whatever. It just goes around the edge of the shoe and keeps the snow from balling up on his feet. My shoe was shoved over a little bit more when I nailed it on. It kind of shifted a little bit. This was another little trick I learned, is using my pullers to just shift the shoe just a little bit, and then I set the nails. Then we're gonna, yep, there we go. We're gonna push that dental impression in there a little bit. I don't really want toe pressure, so I'm gonna take the dental impression that's pushed out in the toe. I don't really need it there. Where we want a lot of support is under that coffin bone and in the frog area. Would you do me a huge favor and hand me the underneath the saran wrap? Yep. Please and thank you. Yep. Thank you. I totally forgot to bring that over with me. I do this to keep it clean because we're chewing in gravel. I don't want a bunch of gravel to get stuck up in the dental impression material, so I wrap it in saran wrap. Who knew what you can use saran wrap for? Again, you'll see I take that little bit of lip. He was so flared out when we started. He had a big old bubble where that foot just was running away from him in front. This foot is looking so much better. I watching this am struggling to comprehend how much better this horse is doing just from a year ago. Like a year ago, we were talking about possibly having to put him down, and today we're like, oh gosh, he looks really good. I can't believe we were there at one point.
You know, so far Fudge is willing to film for free.
You will notice, you can see that rough, flaky looking material right at the bottom of his hoof between the pad and the hoof. That's actually laminae, and this is fairly common with these foundered horses. The laminae also swells as that coffin bone begins to rotate down. The laminae wall swells and becomes wider than what we would normally see. And laminae wall normally is about 1/8 of an inch. I've seen on some foundered horses that laminae wall be inch and a half wide.
He's on pills for overweight.
He's a diabetic. Truly metabolic disease. It almost killed you, Fudge.
Fudge sickles.
You need to be paleo.
I was just so happy you guys named him Fudge. Like, what were the odds?
It was very, and like we didn't really know until later just how like true it was. He's just a self-fulfilling prophecy. Wait, oh, I couldn't do it.
If you look in the back of the video, I just noticed this. Look how close his back feet are together. That's not the most stable position to be standing in. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. Let us know what you think. Thanks for watching.